All right, before I start the rave, let's talk. So, tonight, like any other night, is like no other. I stole that quote. I'm not going to tell you where from, though, so good luck with that. This SMSL SA300. Now, I did the M300. That was a DAC. Was there another box this size? I don't think there was. I don't think there's... Was there a headphone amp that was like this? No. This is a very simple unit. It's a speaker amp. Blatantly. Runs off a transformer, which we have here, which is outputting 24 volts, 6.75 amps. We've got 5-way binding posts. I'm currently either using Bluetooth. Bluetooth is what's playing right now. Or I've lined in from that Geshelli Labs Enoch 2. There is a subwoofer out that is not being used, and I'll explain what that's doing. There's also a USB in. This has its own built-in DAC, which you can choose to use or not use. We'll go into that. The front is actually a much nicer screen than I've seen on previous SMSL stuff. It's very clean. Every line is there. It doesn't look too pixelated. It actually looks semi-modern. Glass fascia, SMSL SA300. There's your infrared receiver for your remote. You got a power button and you got an input button. Now, why should I give a shit about this? Well, here's the thing. Today and tomorrow, if you're a patron or a subscriber, you're seeing these videos roughly the same time because I'm filming them in the same night. But there's two of these amps. Usually a company will like put out an amp or a car, and then they'll make a copy of it that's slightly different, change the name and badging, and then sell that. This way it looks like they're competing, but they're the same company, they're guaranteed to win. So SMSL has the SA300, and tomorrow, or in about an hour for me, the SMSL DA8S, which is exactly the same spec amplifier, will be on this desk, and I will review that. And I'm going to keep these short for that reason. The reason I give a crap is because, who remembers World War II? Remember who the Axis powers were? Anybody? The only thing this thing is missing is an Italian designer. Because we have got German Infineon New Tech Class D power chips, higher quality, efficiency up to 92%, reducing power consumption. And then, after that, NJRC's electronic control chip, the 1194 from Japan, precise volume control and low distortion. So, German amplification, Japanese volume control, made in China. Again, we're just missing the Italian portion of this. But then it would just quit halfway through and start making pasta. So, this is the newest, toppest of the linest digital Class D amplifier. And when I get to that one tomorrow, I'm going to read that exact same thing because it's in that manual too. They both have the German chipsets. They both have the Japanese volume controls. The difference between the two is that one has balanced input and then Bluetooth. And this one has not balanced input, but a USB DAC and then Bluetooth. So when I review that one tomorrow, I'm going to focus on this one. Just focus. Because I could review them both at the same time. I don't want to do that. I need to kill 2 days. So 2 wallpapers, you should all be very happy. Put this music back up. Hold on. I just also did the review of that Kenwood amp. You know, the Kenwood, the Cana 7. And I said it was a very clean amp, but it was underpowered. And I lied. Because this. And I don't know if it's because the DAC in that was lacking, or because the amplifier in this is just so much fucking better. But that was using the fiber optic input, so it was the DAC, and it was the amp, and the amp was only 10 watts a channel. This is 80 watts a channel under those same circumstances. So that's 8 times, that's this many times more powerful. And granted, we're not using the full 80 watts. We're only using 30 or 40, which means it stays clean enough, which is the only other way to do it. But the DAC is also now getting output to 110 $70 Cashelli Labs. So either the DAC is insanely better or the amps are insanely better or both. But this right now is an insanely big upgrade from what I was listening to in the Canna about 40 minutes ago. So like the separation and the imaging and how it's just the delicacy of it all. This is not loud. I'm not getting my ears blasted out. It's not like, oh man, that 80 watts is really shining through. I think all those bullet points I was making fun of actually matter. This new amp, this is... I might have to take out my Topping PA3 because the Topping PA3 was the best sounding Class D amplifier I'd ever heard. Until this one. And I'm assuming that that one will sound as good as this one with different options. Find out tomorrow. Aren't you all intrigued? Like, favorite, subscribe, hit the bell. I don't mean that because I never say that shit. You're just going to see me. I wonder how many of... I have a real question before I get too far into this. If you're watching this. How many of you don't subscribe, but just see me recommend it all the time since you watch 6 of my videos and now you don't even bother? Because I have a feeling a lot of people are watching my videos that aren't subscribers. In fact, I think I can find that metric out. I should look it up. Listen to just... This is a testament to SA300s and fucking cleanliness in DAC and amplification. I will link literally everything that's playing on my desk because I want you to experience. That's why I do this channel, by the way. There was no ulterior motive to start with. It's like, oh man, I'm going to make a bunch of money on you and I'm going to be famous. Girls are going to be under my desk while I'm reviewing things just, No. I want you to hear what I'm hearing, and it's very hard to do because I can only have so many people in my house. So instead, I'm going to go, holy fuck, you need to buy this, that, and then play from the Dexter Season 8 soundtrack, Alone/Grieving Live, from Daniel Light in FLAC. And then you could experience, oh, by the way, get these white Soundrise stands too, because I said so. Because then you could experience this. And then you could tell me why you use headphones ever. I don't fucking know. These aren't even expensive speakers. I was just sitting here with that Canna, and I'm like, I took these speakers down off the wall, and I'm like, all right, the Canna was pretty good. All right, the Canna was pretty good. A little lacking, but you know, this is probably the best these speakers sound. I didn't remember. I wasn't going to take these down and do 19 amps and go back. I just went for it. So if you watch the Canna review, and I'm like, yeah, he's pretty good. No, it's not. This is pretty good. And that's pretty good. This is PS Audio Sprout 100 levels of clarity. Granted, I'm not using an internal DAC. The internal DAC in it, I hooked it up just to test it out. It's USB. I hooked it up to my laptop. It was fine. It was fine. You do get a sense of this, but I didn't have it hooked up to these particular speakers. But it's nice to have the option. If you have a desk with nothing, plug it in USB, you're fucking done. You have a DAC already, you're using a different setup you could switch out. RCA, it's fine. There's a subwoofer out on this, and I will tell you this much. It's the same as every other subwoofer out. I plugged an RCA cable into it. Nothing happens. When you have a real good, I mean real good, this is a cheap unit. This is under $150. You have a relatively cheap unit. What happens when you plug the subwoofer out in is nothing. All it does is take the stereo signal, converts it to mono without grounding, and gives it to you. It usually doesn't even cut off the highs. It just gives you a combination signal in mono in an RCA form, and then your subwoofer, that's what's supposed to do the cutoffs. So you can add a subwoofer, just know it's not the absolute best way to do it. The absolute best way to do it is to, when you hook up a sub, take the low end out of the speakers so that when BWOM happens, they don't try, and the BWOM just goes downstairs and it's dealt with, and you can just be free to do that. The fact that there's a subwoofer out is just a convenience option. Can you use it? Absolutely, positively, 100%. Would a mini DSP be better and then you split it off? Well, sure, but then you got to use the DAC of the mini DSP. What about a surround receiver? Well, those are great. I guarantee. Focus on my eyes, which you can't see, so we'll stare there. Listen to me. I guarantee you the amplifier in this sounds better than the amplifier in just about every surround receiver. It's only 80 watts, and the ones in surround receivers claim to be like 110. But oh my God, the cleanliness. It's almost sterile. This is like the THX 789 of speaker amps. We're all waiting for the THX Tech to make it to speakers. This is pretty fucking close. Like, I'm sitting here just shuffling through track after track going, wow, that's a load of detail coming out of this relatively cheap speaker. I'm tempted to just pull down something a little more fancy. Just to know. Just to fucking know. What was that? Someone cracked open a walnut in the left channel. I don't even understand. If you never saw Christine, it's one of my favorite movies. It's the reason I have a car. It's because I wanted a red 57 Plymouth Fury that killed people. It's a long story. Deadmau5 survivalism. The imaging, it never falters. We're on 48 out of 60 volume. There's no higher and low gain. I'm talking about sound. Usually I get bored with these. I was bored with the Cana. The Cana was like, yeah, it's not great. It didn't have the sound to make me care. I'm going to finish this review. I'm going to plug this in. I'm going to take the Topping D90 DAC, and we're going to plug a fucking way DAC into that. We're going to see what happens. So that'll be the next revision. It's like 1 in the morning or something. I'm just going to keep going because I'll be more delusional and more fun. Let's look at the actual remote because it lacks some shit, and I want to punch it for that. First, we're gonna go power, mute, fine. Up, down, left, right, center. Center is play, pause. No, I'm sorry. I'm projecting what I want it to be. Center is menu. See, when you have it set up to Bluetooth, which I'm going to now set it to Bluetooth, and I'm going to unpause this, which I have to complain about the M15's buttons. Hello? McFly? Connected to Qualcomm. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. I'm now Bluetoothed into this unit. Here we go. We're going to put you down there because it looks cool to have it sitting on top. I want a next track. I want to pause. You're shit out of luck, motherfuckers. Nothing. You got no control here. The Cana had control. The Cana had control. You could hit next track, last track. You could play pause. It was great. That's all I want. You could even show the fucking title of the Bluetooth track. How? How? Why aren't you? You have a much nicer screen than the Cana. Why aren't you displaying the song that's playing, huh? Huh? You can't control the Bluetooth. So, up and down are volume. And they're very fast. If I want to pause it, I have to use the unit. By the way, this is Tron, the Legacy Reconfigured Remixes. This is End of Line Boys Noise Remix. I can't make this shit up. And it sounds great. I'm going to spin that around like a top. So it can connect to Bluetooth, but you can't connect it and then pick up the remote that can control the volume and then next track. Because right does nothing. Nothing. And then center, which would be play pause, is menu, so that's not helping you out. And then you hit menu again. There's no escaping the menu unless you hit function. Then you hit function, and function is direct, tone, which are their bass and treble controls in the menu. And if you keep hitting it, you get the SBD preset, which I talked about that a long time ago. That's SMSL's like anti-distortion preset that's supposed to adjust with volume. And I don't recommend it for most situations because that's like a reverse loudness. And then you get bass, S-bass, rock, R-cock. R-cock. You don't believe me? Fine, watch this. Tone, SDB, bass, S-bass, R-cock. This is R-cock. Not rock. They fucked up. They typoed it. This is something that wouldn't have happened on the canna, but it happened here, then you have arcock and then soft and then clear and then direct. If you don't know, direct means nothing. No bass, no treble adjustments, just direct. I highly, highly recommend that. I also recommend arcock, but I mean, don't go there on Reddit. I'm sure it's a thing. I'm sure it's about chickens, because it'll be funny. So you get to jump around with the function button through those. The input select is simple. Bluetooth or USB in, which I don't have set up, or line in, which is dead bounce. Can't seem to shut her legs up. Nature is a whore. I love Academy Award-winning composer Trent Reznor. And I can say that because he won. Oh, God.
With all persons.
The imaging is so good with these. I literally forgot why they're on my wall. I've had them here for an hour and a half playing on that canna. Fucking forever. And I didn't remember. I was like, yeah, these speakers are good. I don't know why they're on my wall, though. Now I remember.
Speak your truth quietly.
This is Spock's Spaced Out from the Spaced Out Best of. I love everything that's happening right now. And this is a big chunk of what I'm loving. Back to this remote control. So you get the ABC. I'm not sure which one of these buttons you have to hit. I think it's A. Yeah, once you hit B or C, she's just dead in the water. So you got to hit A for it to work. Input switches the inputs. What you'd rather do, though, is hit the center button to get the menu. The menu is as follows. Input, EQ, treble. Sorry, I had puberty just now. Where you get to pick all of those things. Rock is spelled correctly here. Rock, soft, clear, direct. And then treble is just, I don't know why they make you go into a separate screen. Plus or minus 10, where the other one was 5. Look at the nice fingerprints on this. Color, so you could change the color. I have it currently set to orange. But you could do cyan, purple. Purple's probably nice, but you probably won't be able to see it on screen. It's not bad. Line in is a picture of an RCA. And then BT clear, which is Bluetooth clear. You could wipe the memory. That's it. It's not very complicated. It almost doesn't need a screen. Like, this is not, it's not like you can go in here and pick the Bluetooth device with it or assign it to a Wi-Fi. It almost doesn't need the screen. And this particular unit, you really can't set up in a living room because it doesn't have optical in. Neither one of these is optical in. So all this brand new tech, all this brand new amplification tech, in their lines, this is both the SU8 line and this is this line, there's no fiber optic inputs. So if you wanted to put this in your living room to power a set of speakers, and 80 watts will do that, just in your living room, you'd have to get another DAC. You'd have to get a separate DAC, not on either on this one or that one. And you'd have to just have a DAC that has fiber optic in and then plug it into that. You get a cheap $30 DAC. I'll link to a FIO D3. That's the oldest DAC I know of. That's the cheapest DAC I know of. And it literally usually comes with a fiber optic cable, and you plug it in, and you plug in RCAs, and you're done. It's not the greatest DAC in the world, but it's a DAC. And frankly, I don't know if... Would you benefit from getting the advanced fucking German sound that's coming out of this? German and Japanese sound. Would the axis of sound that's coming out of this be notable with just such a cheap DAC? I don't know. You might want to invest a little more. Get like an $80 OL DAC from JDS Labs. And you'll have an American DAC and then German power, Japanese volume control, and a Chinese box. It's like the whole world's coming together to fucking play music for you. It's great. Or, in this case, TV shows. What else did it talk about with this? Again, I said it was keeping it short. And I want to keep this energy going. I want to flip into this real fast. In the next 20 minutes, I want to be hearing this one. Because I'm very sure that's the exact same amplifiers as in this, just in a different shaped box. And then we'll go from there. Standard end game. She is cute and is available in the description. Feel free to crop her out, set her to your phone. No matter what size your phone is, it'll fit on your phone. Or if you have a vertical 21:9, boom, it's ready for you. It's already ready. Wallpapers are always available to my patrons and my substars. You can support me on both those places down in the description. $5 tiers get you into the yard sale. When I'm done with this, I'm probably yard selling. If I had to keep one of these two, the DAC doesn't interest me as much as the balanced. So I'm probably going to yard sale this one which means if you want a cheap, fucking amazing sounding amplifier, $5 tier, 1st to 10th of every month, throw a bid in of an odd number. If you win, you get it. Ship it for free continental United States, half shipping international. $10 tier gets you into a private Telegram chat. You can ask me any question you want on Patreon, on Subscribestar. Just know I answer those like once a week. I don't have the head to sit there every day and answer them. You're paying me, but some of those questions are like, they look like my fucking list. And I'm like, oh, God, one day a week. So if you want more immediate answers, that's what the $10 tier is for. There's higher tiers. Decide if you're cool or not. I don't know. That's what those are for. Check out HIFIguides.com. I'm probably going to have an amplifier section. This would count as an amplifier. It just happens to have a USB DAC. It's not like it's a very special option. And it's not like balanced input is a very special option. But yeah, we'll deal with that. So, all right. I'm going to kick this thing's tires and light its fires. And then move to this motherfucker and see how that's going to handle being pushed off of a DAC that's worth like $600. So, I'm going to go do that now. Everyone should stay tuned. It's about to get real audiophile in here. Burb.